may have seen my earlier review of this knockoff Juggernaut, which I was really impressed with, but the original reason I bought this thing was to get the lower legs for the Maestro. I was wanting to paint these up, and when doing the Maestro, I want to do dark blue pants and black boots. And I want to bogart the boots off this one and put on my Maestro. I don't have my Maestro yet, but I want to do a little bit of prep work. And plus, I want to see how this thing's constructed and how different it is between the actual Hasbro 80th Anniversary Hulk body. To my surprise, it's quite a bit different in the construction. One thing you're going to need to take this thing apart is hot water or a blow dryer. Now, the material on the legs and on the arms is a lot harder material than the actual official figure. What I ended up doing, I took a blow dryer, heated it, and got the lower legs off. Then I heated these up in some hot water. I did like 3 minutes in boiling water. Then I took a pin on the smaller side, took a hammer, and knocked the pins out. That's the best way I found this material is so hard. Like on a normal Marvel Legends figure, like even on these big ones, you get it hot, this material gets soft and flexible. You can usually about pry it apart and pop the pins out. Not on this stuff. This thing is a lot harder. So I just, like I said, I just took a hot water and drove the pins out. And I'll show that with this one. Okay, I just got this one out of the hot water. And let's go ahead and pop the foot off. And we want to do, take something to raise up, have your part raised up. And just pick your pins out. Let's see, right up here. There he goes. You got the pins going out. One pin. And the other pin. Both pins out. To get them back in, you'll need to do the same procedure. At least on this material. And let's go ahead and take a look at some other differences on this mold. A lot of the joints you can just heat and pop, like on the diaphragm joint. It's very simple to heat and pop the torso out. Take a blow dryer, heat it up a little bit, and you can pop this right out. Same way for reinstalling the upper torso, just take a blow dryer, heat this little inner joint up, pop it out. But once you get this off, you're going to see one of the first things you notice a difference. The ab section is actually held together with screws. On the factory Hasbro figures, these are glued together. They're bonded. And on the KO, they use screws. I already took one side out. Let's go ahead and just take this one off. And you can take the ab section completely apart. When you take that one off, you'll notice the waist is held together with screws. And there is another screw there that holds the ball joints on. So where this comes apart will make painting so much easier on one of these. Same way on these hip pieces. These are different from the hips on the big Hulk, the factory Hasbro Hulk. One thing you'll notice, if you're going to do the Juggernaut leg swap for Maestro, you can't just pop through the hip, pop them off at the hips. They are completely different shapes and diameters This is a large mushroom peg to a much smaller. It's got this octagonal like surfaces all around it. And yeah, you're not going to swap at the hips. Unless you actually took these off, you might be able, if they're the same size ball joints, you can pop these on that way. Same way for another good thing with these, you can heat and pop with a blow dryer these hips off. There's a softer plastic inside. You can heat and pop the joints off. Then you can actually heat the lower legs, where this is a harder plastic with this. Takes a little more effort to get it off this lip here, because as I said, this is tough plastic. Doesn't want to budge too much. All right, I got it a little softer right now. You see that was in the water for over like almost 2.5 minutes. I got a little bit of play in it now. But this is the part that's cooled down. It is quite hard. But once you get this off, you can also take these apart. And pop it apart, you can see that section that pops onto the ball joint. That is pretty cool to me, at least from a customizing standpoint. Make it so much easier to paint. Well, disassemble for paint. I like that. The only difficult part is the toughness of the material here. See, the blow dryer barely phases this stuff. You might need to use a heat gun, because once you paint it, you can't do the hot water treatment. But let's look at the knees. That's where I was wondering about how to do the heat, swap the legs, the boots for the Maestro, between the Maestro and the Juggernaut. Okay, we need the left leg and left leg. I want to look at the knee joints. As you can see, I already took off the leg on the Compound Hulk. This is the easiest one to get a hold of. And when I first took the Juggernaut apart, I was seeing this top section, and I was like thinking, well, maybe they modified this to work with the Juggernaut legs. But no, this is the same knee. Basically, roughly the same type of knee. So you can actually just do the swap for the boots on the Maestro at the knee, at the bottom knee. And you can do the swap so with the knee joints being pretty much identical. A little mild differences between the two. But everything looks like it should line up. You just slide in the Hasbro knee into the KO Juggernaut knee, lower leg, and there you go. They'll do the swap, no problem. Would have been easier if we could have just done the swap at the hip, but we can't. But we can do it at the lower leg. That's pretty cool. And so we'll get the boot look, get the cuffed boots like we want for the Maestro. Alrighty, we got this tore down. Now I'll get my Compound Hulk put back together. And next step is hopefully I'll get my Maestros in for too long. Well, thank you for the time. Watch the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and check back out later, and they'll have another update on this project. I'll catch y'all next time.